To order the Leitchfield City Council meeting. All rise. Billy Dallas is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good to see everybody out tonight. Just a old cold fall day, and I got a text from Margie earlier today and said that she didn't want to get out. She was feeling a little bit under the weather. We'll just follow our agenda for a little bit, and first thing on it is approval of the regular meeting minutes, November 1st meeting. Is there any corrections, additions, any changes you'd like to see to that? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve them. Clayton made a motion. Moon seconded. All in favor? Aye. Billy Dallas, we've been asking you to look over the bills, and
I have no questions. The one I've had was with Chief Riley, and we talked it out, but I have no other questions unless somebody else does.
would you make a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. We'll let Jessica do the second, since Moon done hogged it up. All in favor?
Yeah.
Now, Earlene's going to go through the summaries. You're just going to do the summary on those, Earlene?
I am.
But now, I tell you, before we do that, just as a courtesy, we got one visitor. Josh, you don't want to talk to the city council, do you? No. Pudgy? Jessica? Did you want to address the city council?
Yes.
Okay, let's wait a little bit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce Mr. Ed Day. He's with the State Department of Veterans. Ed, if you don't mind, come up here.
I will, I don't need a microphone. I'm used to yelling really loud. My name is Edward Day. I work for Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs. I am not the federal VA. I'm a state agency. Every state has their own veteran affairs that somewhat mirror the federal VA. Kentucky, we have the same thing. We have a rest home, we have medical. There you go, sir. We have medical, the federal VA has medical. We don't have hospitals, we have veteran-only rest homes. We have cemeteries, and if anybody's ever traveled north on 31W through Radcliffe, you'll see a cemetery there on the left. That is a KDVA cemetery. You probably already have one.
That's all right.
You know.
Thank you.
And what I do is I'm the regional administrator for the benefits branch of the western part of the state. There you go, sir. What are VA benefits? VA benefits are, for example, when I was in that vehicle and got hit by an IED, I suffered a TBI and a neck injury and a back injury. Well, when I retired from the Air Force, I filed a claim for VA compensation. The VA rated my disability, and then they paid me accordingly. It's like workman's compensation for civilian personnel. Now, Grayson County is one of your more heavy veteran populations. Of course, you're going to have Hardin County, which is in Fort Knox. A lot of retired armor guys there. You're going to have Hopkins County down by Fort Campbell. A lot of airborne folks retired out there. But a lot of veterans come home after their tour of duty to Kentucky, and they just live out their lives here. But a lot of them are wounded. Now, as we all know, we just concluded our 20-year-plus war in Afghanistan and Iraq, and a lot of our folks are still on active duty, but they're going to be separating, retiring, coming home. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot of veterans coming home to Grayson County. What am I doing here? I'm addressing the city council. Now, the mayor has already generously offered me a space over at the recycling center. And that's great. I love that. I appreciate that. KDVA appreciates that. We'd like to find another one, and I'm going to contact the judge executive, who Mary Embry just turned me on to. But I just wanted to talk to the city council and let you all know who I am, what I am, and if I have somebody out there at the recycling center, you don't have to go, well, who's that guy or gal back there? What do they do? Because you're supporting your veterans here. Now, we do have a lot of veterans in Grayson County that have to come to Hardin County, or they have to come to Owensboro or beyond. Now, right now, I also have a vacancy in Owensboro that I will be addressing that city council here very soon. But I I already have a good office space lined up there, and I just wanted to talk to you all, let you know again who I am, what I do, what KDVA can do for the citizens of Grayson County. And if you have any veterans here, or any of your veterans that you might know, I would love to have contact information with them so I can talk to them and discuss VA compensation. Now, you have a lot of the Vietnam guys. I love them. My father's a Vietnam guy. He was there twice. He's 92 years old. I call them old crusties because they are just the salt of the earth and they're as tough as rawhide. But a lot of them say, no, I don't need the VA. I don't need it. Other people need that. Well, no. The VA has what's called discretionary funding. As much money as the VA needs, the VA will get. Neither party is going to cut the VA short. You might hear it, but neither party is going to cut the VA short. To include medical, to include VA compensation. Compensation is important. And that brings money into your communities that the veteran otherwise wouldn't have, where they spend it right here locally. So that is my job, to get veterans compensation and the money that they deserve for their service and the injuries that they suffered while on active duty. And I would entertain any questions, and I'll stay here as long as you all want me to. None?
The benefit to our community would not only be providing a place for our veterans, but you're going to provide a full-time job,
Full-time job.
with the
Yes,
state,
sir.
to have right here.
I think 6 or 7 Leitchfield area applicants right now that I'm reviewing, and I'm going to be interviewing this week, or possibly next week. I have to schedule that. But yes, there is going to be a full-time job. That somebody, I mean, the state of Kentucky, you don't work for free. You don't get a lot of money.
When do you think your starting date is and what your hours are gonna be?
Hours are going to be from 08 to 1600. As soon as I interview and get that person trained up, then I'll have them in place. Of course, they're not standalone. That person is not going to be a standalone. If they run into a situation that they don't know, they don't understand, they can't handle, they always pick up the phone, and we're all a team. KDVA, Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs, is a huge team, statewide. So we have an immense amount of knowledge, corporate knowledge and experience. By the way, to define who KDVA is, I'm not the DAV, Disabled American Veterans. They do good work, but I'm not the DAV. I'm not the VFW, Veteran of Foreign Wars. I belong, but I'm not. I don't work for the VFW. I'm not the American Legion. All of these are organizations that are funded by their members. KDVA is funded by state tax dollars. Any veteran who comes through our office, there's no charge, there's no fee, there's no membership. If you're a resident of Kentucky, then we're going to take care of you. Questions for anyone? Thank you for your questions, sir.
Do you have office supplies and things ready
We
to
have
go?
everything. We're going to land, all we need is a roof, sir.
Good deal.
All we need is a roof and 4 walls. Well, I'll be available. If you all have any questions, I'm going to hang out here for a little while and enjoy the city council.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Thank you for your service to our country.
Oh, the honor was mine, sir. The honor was mine.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Day's here not only to show his appreciation for the space we provided, but he'd really like to have a nicer place. It's often asked those veterans to go over there. Amanda is accustomed to working by herself, and for her benefit, she would like to continue that as well. But there's an office right adjacent to her office that's only been used once or twice. To me, is ideal. But like I said, I talked to the superintendent and judge executive both over this, and I thought with Ed coming down tonight would make good information to the community of what we're doing.
Happy to, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Earlene, we're going to turn it over to you and let us, she's going to go over the ordinance amendments that she had made, and in a summary to each one of them, and when she gets done, we'll vote and second and have a individual voting on the whole amendment group. So if you've got any questions about these, Earlene will give you a chance between each one of them to ask your question. So,
And Mayor, we'll have to take an individual vote on each one. So, When I get done reading one, we'll have to go ahead and vote on each.
Okay, you tell me when.
Okay. All right, summary of an ordinance amending an ordinance relating to ownership and maintenance of dogs and cats within the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky. Whereas the city council of Leitchfield has determined that the property and health of the citizens require ownership and maintenance of animals within city limits be subject to reasonable regulations. Whereas the city has the power to impose reasonable regulations, and whereas it is necessary to amend said ordinance with provisions being added indicated by a solid line beneath them and lines drawn through provisions deleted. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky, that amended ordinance 2019-04 passed 3/4/19 shall be amended as follow. Any person who violates any prescription or requirement of this ordinance shall be guilty of a violation. The City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board shall enforce civil compliance with this ordinance or a court of proper jurisdiction. We can go ahead and vote on that one, Mayor.
Okay, you want a first and a second, then individual vote?
Yes.
Do I
So
hear a
moved.
motion?
Or second, either one.
Okay,
Clayton and then Billy? Okay.
yes. How do you vote on this, Moon?
Yay. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, summary of an ordinance amending an ordinance relating procedure for designation of unsafe structure. Whereas the city of Leitchfield may exercise its power in furtherance of public policy purposes. Whereas the city has the power to impose reasonable regulations regarding vacant residential property, which may depreciate property values and contribute to deterioration of surrounding neighborhoods. And whereas it is necessary to amend said ordinance with provisions being added indicated by a solid line beneath them and a line drawn through those provisions deleted. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky, that amended ordinance 2011-0809 passed 8/15/11 shall be amended as follows. The definition section shall be amended as follows. Public officer, public works superintendent of the city is slashed, with the city of Leitchfield code enforcement officer taking its place. Hearing officer, the mayor as designee is slashed. Member of the Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board is implemented. Section 152.02, procedure for designation of structures unsafe. Whenever a petition is filed with, by the public officer, by a public authority, or at least 5 residents of the city charging that any structure is unfit for human habitation, occupancy, or use is find in section 152.01A, or whenever it appears to the public officer of his and insert or her own motion that any structure is unfit for human habitation, occupancy, or use as defined above, the public officer shall, if his preliminary investigation of the contents of the petition discloses a basis for such changes, issue and cause to be served upon the owner of and parties and interests in such structure, a complaint stating that the charges in that respect. The complaint shall state that a hearing will be held before the City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement and Board is inserted. Hearing officer slashed. The complaint shall state that a hearing will be held before the hearing officers or his or her designated agent, and insert the City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board at a place and time fixed not less than 10 days and not more than /30, insert 60 days after the serving of the complaint. Section 152.04, hearing officer is slashed or replaced with Leitchfield Code Board to issue order to owner. If after the notice and hearing the hearing officer replaced with City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board determines that the structure under consideration is unfit for human habitation, occupancy, or use, he, insert the City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board, shall state in writing the findings of facts in support of such determination and present the same to the City Council. Need to take a vote on this one.
I'll make a motion.
second. Tootie had second. Moon, how do you vote?
Yay. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, summary of an ordinance amending an ordinance relating to registration of certain vacant residential properties. Whereas the City of Leitchfield may exercise its power in furtherance of public policy purposes. Whereas the city has the power to impose reasonable regulations regarding vacant residential property, which may depreciate property values and contribute to deterioration of surrounding neighborhoods. And whereas it is necessary to amend said ordinance with provisions being added indicated by a solid line beneath them and a line drawn through those provisions deleted. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky, that amended ordinance 2014-04 passed 6/16/14 shall be amended as follows. Section 5, enforcement. Civil violations of this ordinance shall be enforced by the City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board or a court of appropriate jurisdiction. Need to take a vote on this one at this
Do you
time.
hear a motion? Clayton, make a motion.
Yep. Second.
Moon?
Yay. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yay.
Summary of an ordinance amending an ordinance relating to the imposition and administration of an occupational license requirement and payment of an occupational license tax by persons and business entities conducting businesses, occupations, and professions within the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky. Whereas the city of Leitchfield may exercise its power in furtherance of public policy purposes. Whereas the city has the power to impose regulations of license fees on trades, occupations, and professions. And whereas it is necessary to amend said ordinance with provisions being added indicated by a solid line beneath them and deleted portions with a line drawn through in order to enforce stipulations of said ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky that amended ordinance 2019-03 past 2/18/19 shall be amended as follows. Penalty section. The city may enforce the collection of the occupational tax due under Section 3 of this ordinance and any fees, penalties, and interest as provided in subsections 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this section by insert enforcement of the City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board or by civil action in a court of appropriate jurisdiction to the extent authorized by law. The city shall be entitled to recover all court costs and reasonable attorney fees incurred by it in enforcing any provisions of this ordinance. Need to take a
Hear a
vote.
motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Moon?
Yay. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, summary of an ordinance amending the nuisance ordinance. Whereas the city of Leitchfield may exercise its power in furtherance of public policy purposes, whereas the city has previously adopted an ordinance relating to abatement of nuisances in the city, and whereas it is necessary to amend said ordinance to clarify the provision thereof with provisions being added indicated by a solid line beneath them in order to enforce the stipulations of said ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky that amended ordinance 2019-06 past 4/1/19 shall be amended as follows. Penalty section is amended to read, whoever violates any provision of this chapter shall be guilty of a violation and shall be fined not more than 100 for each offense. Each day's continued violation shall constitute a separate offense. Civil enforcement of this ordinance shall be by the City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board or a court of appropriate jurisdiction. Need to take a vote.
Hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moon?
Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yay.
Summary of an ordinance amending an ordinance relating to the screening of automotive, vehicle, and machinery junkyards. Whereas the City of Leitchfield may exercise its power in furtherance of public policy, whereas the city has the power to impose reasonable regulations regarding storing of junk, wrecked, or non-operative automobiles, whereas it's necessary to amend said ordinance with provision being added indicated by a solid line beneath them and deleted portions with a line drawn through them. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky that amended ordinance 1997-16 past 11/17/97 shall be amended as follows. Any person who violates the provisions of this ordinance shall be guilty of a nuisance violation, and each day a violation constitutes a separate offense punishable by a fine of no less than $25, no more than $250 pursuant to KRS 534-04. The City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board shall enforce civil compliance with this ordinance or a court of appropriate jurisdiction. Need a vote.
Hear a motion?
Make a motion.
Second? Clayton? Moon, how you vote?
Yay. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, an ordinance amending an ordinance relating to depositing solid waste in dumpsters or similar receptacles. Whereas the City of Leitchfield operates a solid waste disposal site as well as a garbage pickup service. Whereas the city has the power to impose reasonable regulations regarding solid waste pickup and disposal. And whereas it is necessary to amend said ordinance with provisions being added indicated by a solid line beneath them and deleted portions designated by a line drawn through them. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky that ordinance 1988-01 past 4/4/1988 shall be amended as follows. The deposit, insert, or removal of solid waste refuse into or from dumpsters or other receptacle, there was a misspelling, and it was replaced with the correct spelling, by persons or entities who have not paid the established charge for such dumpster or receptacle owned by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky is hereby prohibited. Whoever violates provisions of this section 1 of this ordinance shall be guilty of a violation. The City of Leitchfield Code Enforcement Board shall enforce civil compliance with this ordinance or a court of appropriate jurisdiction.
Do you hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Moon?
Yay. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, last one, an ordinance establishing the position of code enforcement officer. Whereas the City Council of Litchfield has a duty to enforce the codes established by ordinance, and whereas the establishment of a position to enforce said codes is in the best interest of the City of Litchfield in order to promote the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens, whereas it is desirable to establish the position of code enforcement officer and the duties of said position. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky as follows. The employment position of code enforcement officer is hereby established. The code enforcement officer is granted the authority to issue civil citations for violations of codes of the City of Leitchfield. The code enforcement officer shall attend meetings of the Code Enforcement Board, investigate alleged code violations, and perform tasks required to enforce the codes of the City of Leitchfield.
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Moon?
Yay. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you, Arlene.
That's it.
Anybody have any questions about amending these ordinances and enacting them?
And our first meeting of the code board should be that first Tuesday in December. Or
First
second,
Tuesday
maybe second Tuesday in December.
Second Tuesday, what?
in December.
What
Yes.
time?
5 o'clock. I think Tyler's ready to go tomorrow, too. We just
Tyler,
gave
you gonna make sure that they're contacted and remind them of the meeting time? I sent some of this information to Dr. Gay today.
The second Tuesday.
Only thing they'll be doing at that first meeting, Tyler, that I understand, will be if anybody's got complaints about things that you cited them on. Is that correctly? Or what other things would they be considering?
Anytime that I will deem a property is condemned or needing to do a demolition order, I will present that to the board prior to the issue.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Give them the history and evidence that you have cited, and give the owner plenty of time to respond and such stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope this is a successful, down this road that we've taken for their community. Like I said, I've been preaching about abandoned, dirty homes. It hurts our whole community when that exists. And you've done good so far, Tyler, and I appreciate it. And I think we've got a good group to work with you as well.
Yes.
Okay, we have Sabrina here tonight. Lori's is off this week, and Sabrina has given you the financial statement, September 2021, and you have them attached to your minutes and stuff. Is there any questions? Anybody have those?
No.
You hear a motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Wait.
None.
No, it's not individual. It's not an individual. You got anything to say about this financial statement,
No,
Sabrina?
I think so. I
Well, you're doing a good job as well. We appreciate it.
appreciate that.
Okay. Jim McGrew, my good friend Jim McGrew, has been sitting on the airport board, and he contacted me last week and said that he's just going to have to step down. He works away from home, and his schedule is such that he couldn't attend these meetings. So the David Zimmerly, I think's his last name, that works for Homeland,
Yes.
he's their financial officer for the airport board, and he contacted me. I told him if he had any names that they could suggest to go on this, that's who we would support, unless some of the council members has a name they'd want us to consider as well. And but he gave me the name of William Loyal of Falls of Rock, Kentucky, and I thought he'd make a good replacement for Jim McGrew. So you could think about that for a meeting, but if you don't have anybody else in mind, the thing to do would be approve his suggestion. Clayton's make a motion to approve it.
I'll second
Second, all in favor?
it.
Who's second? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Paul.
We give the airport board $5,000 a year, and the county gives them $7,000 a year, and that's for the upkeep and stuff of the airport. Visitors, we had Edward Day on there, but Mr. Day done spoke to us. Did you want to speak to the city council? You sure?
That's my husband. He trickled in.
Oh, I didn't know that. Matt, you can talk to us if you want.
It's
I
gonna
didn't know
keep
who you
Josh,
were.
company back there, so.
You're behaving. She's been behaving. Yeah. Okay, let's go down to unfinished business. Tammy, you want to talk to us about the Belleville Trail Grant, et cetera?
The only thing that we've done is we've recommended that we're just going to go ahead and put it out to bid again. There's a couple of people that had reached out that were interested in it also. So in talking to the mayor and Wes and Scotty's, they just recommended us we go ahead and put it out for another bid.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and do that, and put it back in the paper.
What time frame are we talking about, Tammy?
Well, too late to get it in the paper now, so it'll probably go in next Thursday. And then we would give them possibly 3 weeks out, so it'd probably be like the second,
I
third
see.
week of December. With the holidays and everything, I'm sure it'll be a little bit longer,
Yes.
so,
I think that was the right thing to do.
yeah. I believe so. I think it'd give more opportunity, because it is more strategic planning than what we had thought.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to have enough time to at least devise a plan and layout for it.
Okay.
Okay?
I think that Parsons, and you said you spoke to him, he's done this before, so
Correct.
maybe we can get this going.
Hopefully we'll get enough bids that we can make a good choice out of it.
Yeah. I'd like to see it skid.
Hey, Wes, what happened to the guy that we talked to that we took over that day? Wasn't he with somebody or himself, or he had laid out a bunch?
Yeah, was it Everett Lashley that went with us over there?
No, he was from Louisville or somewhere. Melbourne is raining.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name.
Was it that Parsons that called me on the phone?
Did he come, he came down and talked to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's who it was.
Seemed like he was from
He does a lot
around
of,
Columbia.
Mountain bike trails and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's who it was.
Yeah, he didn't respond to the first ad, so I asked Tammy, she dug his information up and called him on the phone, and he said he had overlooked the opportunity to bid on that, so we're gonna reissue it. And I said, he's done these before, so he's got a history,
Yes.
so he might be the right person. Thank you, Tammy. You have anything else to tell us?
Christmas in the park, they'll start setting up November 19th. We have 3 spots left out of 60, so I think that's.
That's
pretty
good.
That's
exciting.
good, yes.
Have a lot of new participants. So I'm excited about that. And then we have Christmas on the Square, December 4th. We have the high school students, the high school department, art department is coming up to the city square, and they're going to be painting. I think we have 15 businesses that are participating. At this time, if anybody else comes forward and wants their window painted, because I did go to all the establishments, it'll be if they can finish the other ones first.
Okay.
So then we'll also do Christmas on the Square. That'll be December 4th. And we have Christmas carolers. Most of them are from the high school. And there'll be a food drive and a lot of vendors. I think I have 22 and then.
Is that right? Well, that's
22
great.
vendors.
Wow.
So we have a very nice variety, and a lot of them are local, so that makes it even better.
That's good. Now, I talked to you about wrapping those light poles with red and green, and after I sat down and think about it, I'm thinking I gave April some money last year to buy those, and said one of the benefits to buying them was to use them every year.
I know they have wreaths that they hang on the light post.
Uh-huh.
Those were put up last year, and they're in great condition. They'll be putting them up again this year.
And Jody will have the trailer ready for the council to ride on the Christmas parade.
I will be going over there to decorate that.
Okay, well, good.
Other than that,
In West, we need to get those snowflakes hung on the light poles and stuff.
Normally every year we put them up the first day of December.
Do you?
Yeah.
Look like they should be up right after Thanksgiving, because people use Thanksgiving weekend, it's kind of as Black Friday and all that, it kind of goes with Christmas.
I mean, we can try the day after Thanksgiving. Of course, that's a double day for garbage on us, so
Well, now, that's a holiday for the city.
Thanksgiving is. But the
Yeah.
day after, that Friday, we'll still be running double garbage for Thursday.
I know what you hate bringing employees to pay overtime to hang up
We're not off
snowflakes.
Friday, though.
You're not? Well, let's talk to the mayor and see what we can do about that.
Nice, if we work with it.
Yeah,
Do a lot of shopping that day.
yeah.
We could get them up maybe the day before if we was off that day.
We're going to start a committee. Committee, Jessica, we got strategic planning. I've read through my book 2 or 3 times. We need to work on that, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I wanted to do the same night as a meeting night is.
Yeah, I think we need to formulate, I mean, if we just have the strategic plan and we don't do anything with it, it doesn't do us
It'd
any
be of very
good.
little value.
So we need to definitely, I don't know if could we plan on the next council meeting, meeting an hour early to
Well,
kind of
that's
talk
what I would
about?
rather do, instead of asking people to come out for a meeting and then another council meeting. And maybe, if that's all right, we'll plan to have a meeting an hour early, and Lori will have to post that in the city as a special called meeting, because it's open to the public. And get out your strategic planning information that Kentucky League of Cities give us, and be familiar with it, and make yourself some notes. As you read through that, it spurs ideas. Oh, this might work, that might work, and bring that to the meeting. And it will be a public meeting as well. And anybody in the general public that's watching us on YouTube that's want to participate in that, we want to solicit local participation in it. And it has all to do about making our community more successful than what it is, and especially cleaner than what it is. And that's a goal that we're all working towards.
Mayor, and if you're okay with it, I'll actually share that strategic plan on our social media page and
Yeah.
once we for sure figure out if we're gonna do it next council meeting, I'll put that date so that
I
people are
think-
aware.
I don't see a reason that we couldn't have it then.
That's right.
And let's do it,
5
Jessica.
o'clock.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And like I said, maybe we might can make some extra copies of those, Jessica, to hand out. You know, really, if somebody wanted a copy of it prior to the meeting for they could have that, we'll make those available.
Okay. I'll put that on the.
Yeah, put that on there as well. Tell them to contact, come to City Hall,
Okay.
and we'll have some of those made, yeah. And that other report that he sent us from that student had a lot of information on
Yeah.
that. I tell you what, we are on the verge of getting this Ford plant built in Glendale. That's going to be a great opportunity for Grayson County and Leitchfield, for homes, for employees, for satellite industries. So many doors is going to open to us. And that's one reason we met with the hotel people today. Our location compared to Glendale, we just need another hotel. So we met with Cobblestone Hotel Group today. Matt's going to print a story about it in the paper, and they're looking for local investors. They sell the package for a 54-room, a 45-room, a 62-room, but our report said about a 50 or 60-room hotel would do well in Leitchfield. And they're looking for local investors. And like I said, they will build the building, they'll manage it, they'll do everything, or as much or little as they want. And at some point, they're going to be looking for property. And to hear Matt done an excellent story on the front of the Gazette right here. And I called it the Gazette. It's not the Gazette anymore, is it? But Matt done an excellent job also in the back of the article commending the Hatfield family for the good service they have provided to Leitchfield over these years. And we appreciate what they've done. And but we've got to have another hotel. And so that's what we met today about. Okay. Fire Department Annual Dinner, Friday night, December 3rd, 6 p.m. at the fire station. That includes your spouses as well. Please attend. I don't know, they're supposed to tell us to attend or not. Do we need to tell Tim?
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're going to attend, let Sabrina know. Moon, you gonna go? You and Debbie?
I've always signed.
Yeah. I don't think I
She needs to
did.
know by tomorrow, I think, or today, or.
Yeah. Clayton, you gonna go?
Oh, yeah.
You taking Ruby?
Oh, yeah. Or you taking me?
Okay.
Yes.
Tootie?
Yes.
You and Joyce?
Yes.
Jessica?
We're gonna try.
You and Josh? Billy Dallas?
Yes.
Okay. So, that should be a good program.
You going, man?
Yes, sir. And I start saying my little wife's gonna be out of town. But she'll be back by then. We'll be married 70 years. No,
Social
she just
butterfly.
turned 70. We'll be married 50 years, 17th of next month. Christmas parade and light up Leitchfield is Saturday, December 4th. If you want to ride on the wagon, meet us at the fairgrounds, and we'll holler out Merry Christmas to people as we go through the streets of Leitchfield. I have invited the council and mayors of Caneyville and Clarkson as well. They enjoy coming down, and don't wear your school colors, wear red if you can, if you got any red. Annual Christmas dinner is Friday, December 10th at 6 o'clock. They'll be at the Center on Main. You need to sign up for that, you and your spouses. Moon?
I wouldn't.
Tootie?
What's that?
City Christmas?
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
Jessica?
I've already turned it in.
I actually won't be there for that one. We have a cruise that's been rescheduled for the third time
Sorry.
since
Oh,
COVID,
no,
so we are
sorry.
gonna be on a cruise that weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not really sorry, but
Well, at this rate, maybe, who'd you book with?
it's through Royal Caribbean.
Is it, we're going in January
Oh.
on Carnival. Billy Dallas?
Yes.
Okay.
We went together.
I want to encourage all city employees to come and bring their spouses, or better halves, whatever they are. Filing deadline for office is January the 3rd, I think. I did not look that up, but if my memory serves me correctly, it'll be January the 3rd.
Yes.
7th? Well, see, I was trying
I had
to,
somebody ask me about running. and,
Yeah.
So I called and asked them, they said 7.
7th, okay. Well, my memory, that was probably for another year. Okay. Okay, West Shore, you got any comment?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yep.
David Riley?
No, sir, I'm good.
Erling Whitaker?
No, I know that Jessica and I had been talking about some updates, some of the animal ordinances, so she's here and wants to speak to the council.
Okay.
Well, we had talked about some potential upcoming changes, if the council's on board and wanted to support those, if Jessica wanted to take the,
Jessica?
I'll do it real quick. Things that we're talking about is obviously putting the animal ordinance into code enforcement. Because right now, we're running into a brick wall every time we go out and say, your dog's running loose for the 15th time, and people know there's no consequences for that. So hopefully Tyler can write them a citation at some point, and they'll actually have to pay a little bit or have
Some consequences, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, it'll just help with the more common issues like loose animals, inadequate shelter. I'm running into that right now. People are just calling in like crazy right now because it's getting colder.
Mm-hmm.
And then criminal prosecution such as animal cruelty, that'll still fall under Jeremy Logston, the county attorney's office, so that won't fall on the city at all. We'll keep doing that how we've been doing it. We do want to adopt the vicious dog ordinance that the county has done. It's going really well with them. We might as well mirror that
Yeah.
and keep going with that.
Do you got a copy of that, Earlene, or we?
I don't have a copy of it with me tonight, but I can provide it to the council at the
Yeah.
next meeting when we can
Since
go
it's a
over
county
it.
ordinance and we're in the county, would our dogs automatically fire underneath that?
It would, we could adopt it, and there could be some civil consequences we could have and do through the code board, if we wanted to handle it that way. If, I don't think it would be a bad idea to have a mirror image of the county, just so the city
Let us
enforces
approve it as well.
So,
That come as response to some dogs out on our bike route, and the owners absolutely refused to corral them. I sent the state police out there twice, and it was awful. Jessica, I thought some of these ordinances that Earlene had to do with dogs, and we're not these, what you're telling us now, we've not done those yet.
We've got city ordinance.
Yeah.
It's not strict enough, I don't guess, and then what's happening is, it's an ordinance, but those people are like, so what?
Yeah.
Because they're not getting a ticket.
That's
We
right.
didn't have a board to do anything, so what with them?
Right.
So-
So it honestly makes us kind of.
Toothless, it makes you,
Well, we're just going out there to say something to them, but if they say no, then I have to go back to the office.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. So, another thing we've talked about is a tiered system, and me and Arlene looked up, I think,
We look-
Hardin County, Glasgow, Louisville.
Bowling
People
Green.
are successful with this. We're just a little behind, and we need to get on board with it too. So, like a first offense of say their stray dog comes in, it's a warning. Second offense, We've already got a mandatory spay neuter if they show up again. They already signed something the first time that says if they show up again, we get to neuter. Third offense, microchip enforcement. That way, we're not scrambling trying to figure out who this dog belongs to. We know we've seen it.
Why don't you just put all that on paper and give it out to us, and we'll vote on it next meeting or something? Can we do that?
Yeah, and I just wanted to go, because I can't just write, I have to have a sponsor of it, you know, so, if it's something that I just want to run it by before I draft, you know,
Sure.
so.
And it all
if-
makes sense. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, and what Jessica and I did was we spent a couple different days going through some other ordinances, and I think the tiered system really helps because it helps. I think Jessica has a big issue with repeat offenders because, you know, it's just a lot of the same people coming in with the dogs, and there's
I don't
nothing.
think the council has any issue with any of those changes, Jessica, and we'll see that they're enacted.
It'll help a lot. It'll help the city and neighbors won't be so aggravated.
Absolutely.
Something else we saw that was common in a lot of, you know, even cities of the same size as us is an ordinance if a dog is in heat, dog has to be put up. That is already a state law, however, a lot of people adopt that as a local city ordinance as
I didn't know
well.
that.
And I think that's something that could also, you know, and all these things we could, you know, enforce through the code enforcement board.
Well, you know,
So-
you and Jessica get together and bring us something, and I don't see we got any council members at all would be opposed to the change.
All right, well, I'll get to work on drafting that and bring something to the council.
Y'all got a
then.
tough job down there, Jessica, and I don't want it, I tell you, and I appreciate what you do. Well,
Yeah, and
So
I think
we have-
Tyler going out on some calls and being able to actually write them a citation, that's gonna help them a great deal, so.
Earlene, do you have any other comment?
No, I have nothing else, no.
Sabrina, do you got anything to
No,
say?
I'm good.
He don't ever want to run for office.
Tyler, you got anything? Pudgy, do you got anything? Ed, you got anything you want to say? Ruby? Earling's husband, Matt? Huh? Oh, you taking us out to dinner? Is that what you're holding? Holding up your billfold? Josh? Matt? Thank you for the good story in the paper, and I appreciate it. Tammy? Yeah.
No, sir, I'm good.
Moon?
I'm good.
Clayton?
Good.
I'm good.
Jessica? Have fun on your cruise. There, motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Second?